G'day, g'day, g'day. Mathematical KM here. Remember, their initials, not a title. Keith Malumbi. This is Thursday night at the Canberra Chess Club last week, and I was weighing in at 14:30, and I think it's some 255 points higher. Born in 2012, but 255 points higher. We have young James. And wasn't sure about saving this game in my Hippo folder at all because it was going to be a Hippo, but we'll have a look. We shall see. So, a very interesting game. Okay, let's put that across to where we can. Okay, cool bananas. Here we go. So the birds. How does a hippo? Well, in nature, I think birds and hippos are friends. And so I'm, starting out thinking, typically with the hippo, we'd be getting the king's bishop out, but with his king's bishop pawn, use the old parlance, already out there, I might want to get my queen's bishop fianchettoed first. Takes out his knight. Okay, I'm still working along. This would be the next pawn if I was setting up my hippopotamus. But bang! Decision time. Really, really decision time. I'm not sure how the game would have gone if I'd held strong to the hippo. But, well, what's the big decision? I am being sorely tempted by bishop takes knight, king's pawn moves across. He's got doubled pawns, and there is a path to his king, which is, for now, still in the middle of the board. And bishop takes knight is the best move, which is going away from the hippo. I've played it, it's the best move, but now out of theory, and we'll see how we go and for how long we go there. Okay, so I'm thinking that'll help me get the bishop and the queen out. Yeah, he's fianchettoed a bishop, getting ready to castle, I guess, but if I can keep that bishop blocked, I'm thinking that can only be good for me. Let's get a knight out. He's throwing pawns into the middle. I can't just take it. It's protected by the queen. Very close to even, but computer didn't like that, but I'm giving myself 2 pieces on that pawn. He's only got the 1 defender. Okay, now he's got 2 defenders. It's still a side edge to black. Playing against the birds with my young opponent, who's 255 higher elo. I thought, well, let's develop my other knight. Okay, this is very interesting sort of pawn structure and what's going on. This knight can't come forward. Back of the mind is don't want to get my queen trapped. And so this has a double purpose in that I might be able to swap a knight for a bishop, but it also allows my queen back, and it also allows castling queenside. All the thoughts I'm having with that. He's backed his bishop up. He doesn't want to swap a bishop for a knight. I've gone the B pawn, and it's excellent. It's more than anything else is to prevent. It's making this knight more of an outpost. It's not going to be easy for him to move his C pawn and kick my knight because I'll just take with my B pawn. So he's castled. Again, this knight didn't have much future going forward, so I thought I'd bring it around. He's bringing a knight around as well, and the knight that I brought around. Now, if he brings his g-pawn forward while it's creating weaknesses to an extent near his king. So I'm sort of almost thinking I'm tempting that. But he centralises a rook, which makes sense. My king is still in the middle, and that's, well, as we'll see, something I should have done something about a little earlier. Queen to d8, and at the moment, that one doesn't really point, but white's pieces are more pointed at my queen side than at my king side. And computer suggestion of queen back to d8, probably followed by bishop out and castle and king side. So it's a free-for-all there. Made more sense than where we have gone. He's dived in with his knight, threatening my queen, and again, queen to d8, getting the queen over to where it's going to be more useful, was much better than the fianchettoed queen. Perhaps that should be the title for this video. It's not often you see it, the cunning fianchettoed queen. So now my king's in the middle still. He's got his pieces aimed at that side. And here they come. Here come the pawns. And to an extent, that was good. Thank you, computer. In as much as I did not want to just unleash that rook, helping him out. Okay. So now he's kicking that knight. Knight comes back. A5 is good, but not super necessary yet. And I'm thinking moving that bishop, and look, of course it's better. Getting ready to castle instead of backing up a pawn that didn't need it there and then. I guess the only thing for A5's favour was preventing A5 by white, which would have kicked the knight. In he comes. Bishop E7 is still best. I should really, the panic, the alarm should be going off. I should let him push that pawn forward or take my e-pawn. It's not a clear and immediate huge danger, and so I really should be going bishop E7. So and I've played it. Now, the question is, am I ready to castle? I don't get the chance. Brilliant, excellent move. And taking with the knight is best, but you can see the numbers are starting to head white's direction. And it was good. He takes. The computer's flicking in between pawn takes and bishop takes, not making its own mind up, and there's 0.02 difference. I take with the bishop. He takes with the pawn. Backing the bishop to e7 is best, which would lose the knight, but yeah, nice pawn fork. I should really have taken with the pawn last time maybe, but it really wasn't good. Nice skewer of the queen and the rook. Best I can do is try and block it with a pawn. I'll lose the bishop there. Take with the pawn. Pawn forward, I take. Gonna connect the rooks by moving the king. He takes, I take. Irish pawns. Keith Douglas Malumbi, Tipperary, achieved Irish pawns in a FIDE-rated game. So if nothing else, achievement. He backs his bishop up, pawn forward. This pawn is pinned, sort of, to the queen on check. He checks me, king has to move. threatening the rook. The rook comes across. It's all a little bit lining up on this pawn, but at this point it's kind of going through the motions. The last great hope being that pawn he takes. Undouble my pawns. Check. And I'm just not going to be able to. Last achievement that I decided was important, and it was a moral victory, if any, was that bishop had to die before I tipped my king. Job done. And I know he's come across. I'll let him make that one more move, but I could take that queen, but it's all over bar the shouting. And I've resigned to my young opponent. And I was thrown out. The interesting thing was being thrown out of Hippo theory with my third move, which was the best move. And if we look at the review, it took some time for the game to completely out of theory, just playing chess, and pretty even 12, 13 moves in, and just not having the danger sense for the king and castling and getting the queen over to where it was going to be more useful. The big fight was going to be this region of the board. So thank you for that game, James. It was very good. I'm not going to call it a hippo. It's if you play the birds and you... Well, for now we'll believe the computer and say taking that knight with my bishop is a good thing. And the game was going okay for a while. I was thinking about trying to force a knight in here while his rook was there. One knight in takes, I take back, fork the rook and the queen, but James was never going to let that happen. But quite the interesting game on the Thursday night. Wouldn't call it a hippo, but The Birds. It's like Alfred Hitchcock's horror movie, The Birds. Alright, bye for now.